Hi everybody. I'm Grey Lightfoot, dreamer, poet, bus driver. It's not going to work that way, is it? I'll have to do it the normal way. It's just I felt more comfortable doing it. No, it's fine. Hi, well, I'm a dreamer, poet, bus driver. My wife thinks I'm a dreamer. I think I'm a poet. And Her Majesty's Revenue Collectors think I'm a bus driver. The thing dreamer and a poet sort of goes without saying. Dreamer sort of works with poet because that's how they are. That's, you know, that's where you get your ideas from and all that. Poet and bus driver doesn't sort of, people think, you know, I don't know, but it's surprising when you're driving a bus that you do a lot of it by rote sort of thing. You know what you're doing, and you do have a lot of time to think. Now, us bus drivers have a bit of a bad press, you know. You've seen a Horlicks advert, those sort of things. But we're sensitive souls at heart. We're traditionalists as well. 15 or so bus drivers each morning will perform the haka to the bus the passengers in the bus station, which I'm now going to perform. I'm starting myself up with it, it's a big game. Tecatina to Truro! Whack your Wi-Fi, whack your tablet in the Wi-Fi. Work on the way. That's it. Oh, sorry. Ha! We do that in the bus station, but before we go out, before we have the group hug, when we leave the depot, we say a little prayer. It's called, this is the West Cornish bus driver's prayer. Hands together, eyes closed. Let us pray silence. Our Father, who art in Helston, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Trifle be done. In St. Earth, as it is in St. Leven. Give us St. Day our daily bread, and forgive us our malpasses, as we forgive those who malpass against us. And lead us not into tranquility, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the Camborne, the plain and glory, for ever and ever. Land's End. Now, the problem for me with being a poet is I can't actually remember any of my poems. I really can't. I really can't remember. Somebody will say, "Well, go on, give us a poem." And I can't. I need to read them. For that reason, there's something now, poetry slams that people go to, where they go up and they're like rappers against each other. They don't use paper. I just couldn't do that, because my brain can't cope with the possibility of forgetting my lines. It's constantly worrying. I'm constantly worrying I'm going to forget my lines. They're disabling my thought processes. So this poem I'm going to do now sort of explains why. It's called Paper Talk. It's first night nerves, every one night stand. That Ian Jury summed it up well. How it's hard to look professional when your composure's all gone to hell. I stand here before you exposed and unaccustomed to public speaking. Just imagine the audience naked, they said. It's alright, we'll turn up the heating. This is what covers my modesty. Acts as a shield to stave off what I dread. Gives me the courage to carry it on, regardless, screaming, don't lose your head. It's just, I think my brain's wired up wrong. There's no need for circuit diagrams to see my rabbit in the headlights and why I'm crap at poetry slams. Without this, I'm a craven effer. In the minds of others, a coward. My ad-libs between the poems of all the focus of Frankie Howard. And those links I've written purposely might have the lot of you in stitches if only I could remember them. I'm more embarrassment than riches. I envy actors' ability to learn pages and pages of lines. I can't recall the simplest of songs. I've even forgot Auld Lang Syne. As a kid at the gospel mission, they lay the fear of God upon me. Win a Bible if you can recite a huge chunk of Deuteronomy. I failed and was given a pencil, so I'm drawing a line in the sand with these pieces of A4 paper that are glued to the palms of my hand. Now, rather than spending hours on end in reciting my words verbatim, I'll run a nice bath, pick up a pen, have time better spent in creating. But I believe in what I've written. I let it do the talking for me. This paper's like a ventriloquist. Hang on, that makes me the dummy. So there we have it. Dreamer, poet, bus driver. The man in the bath, I made the image myself, the man in the bath is a pastiche of the French politician Jean-Paul Marat. There's a more famous painting of him by Jean-Louis David. And this is a pastiche of it, but I saw it and I just thought it's so brilliant, because this is me. I write in the bath. Many a time I write in the bath, I edit in the bath. I just run a bath and go in there and write, sort of thing. And the curled up bits of paper and you know, you sort of move your arm and all the paper gets wet and all that. That's just me, is that? So he had a debilitating skin disease, and he used to do all his correspondence in the bath. He was stabbed to death by Charlotte Corday, who didn't agree with his politics. So I thought that'd be a good image. I write and edit. The paint, as I said, I love the curled up soggy paper. And although I live perpetually in fear of an angry woman running into the bathroom, shouting, "Are you going to be in there all day?" But the dreamer of the poster, there, the dream bit, you can see it's a town centre lizard. That's represented by a thought bubble. While dreamer and poet go hand in hand, bus driver, not a good combination. Bus driver and dreamer, like I said before, I mean, some of you in here will travel on the bus, and I'm known for overshooting bus stops. And I'll be thinking about something, and the bell might have been rung a mile away, you know, because people tend to ring it just after they ring the last stop, sort of thing, and then we're stuck in a traffic jam and all that, and miss it altogether. And then when I pull up at the bus stop, 100 yards past the bus stop, I'm in this position then where I have to think, now it's either going to be good or bad, this, because if it's good, the people will go, "Oh, it's okay, I live this way anyway." "Yeah, I knew that." But if they go back the other way, then it's So anyway, yeah, the think bubble there is the town centre lizard of Helston. Now, some pictures for this. The town centre lizard of Helston. Now, Helston's next week, I think, isn't it? Next week, week after, is Flora Day. And the people of Helston, is there anybody in from Helston? I ask. No? We're all right then. Right. We'll tell you, the people of Helston will tell you that Flora Day, the reason behind Flora Day is to celebrate the end of winter and, you know, renewing of everything, you know, fertility and all that sort of thing. But when I was driving buses around Helston, I noticed, I thought there's another reason here. The real reason for Flora Day is celebrating the fact that they haven't been eaten by the town centre lizard of Helston. So, now the reason I can tell you that is because I've seen the signs. I've seen the signs. Some of you know this one. The town centre lizard of Helston. A monster walks the streets of this town, and no, I don't mean like Frankenstein's. It's Helston's own town centre lizard. And I know. And I know because I've seen the signs. Now, I don't profess to be expert in the field of reptilian ways. In fact, even as a little boy, I missed out on that dinosaur phase. My knowledge of reptiles is wanting, and like you, I'm as much in the dark, not armpit deep in dinosaur shit like that Sam Neill in Jurassic Park. This lizard must be something to see, to warrant such in-your-face signage. The need to forewarn at all suggests a creature of sizable tonnage. Let's be honest, size matters greatly. It would hardly be a scarian if the little blight was contained in a 2-foot square vivarium. So it's big, but we need to know more regarding the nature of this beast. I'm no David Attenborough, that's true, but there's one thing I know at least. I'm often found driving through Helston, that's apart from the small hours of night, and I've yet to see its scaly hide. It's nocturnal, it doesn't do light. But where does it go during the day? Does it spend the hours roaming old mines? There's got to be somewhere it slumbers. Or what would be the point of those signs? Maybe it sleeps in the boating lake. You see what I'm thinking? Black Lagoon. Dragging the boat and pedalo lines as it emerges into the gloom. Let's hope its intentions are vegan. There's money to be made if I'm right. The tourists will flock in their thousands to see Helston's own monster each night. They're going to be gutted in Scotland. To be honest, they must have some goal. They've been coining it in with Nessie. No one's ever seen her at all. Assuming our cash cow is land-based, making Flambeau's latest sensation, all the ghost it ever could eat in its own custom-built habitation, all these ideas are pie in the sky if old Helsie's some kind of killer. Times as they are, the last thing we need is a B-movie Cornish Godzilla. Now hang on. That's got me wondering. It's all smoke and mirrors and no good. It might just be that while we're asleep, Helston's runnels are flowing with blood. Where are the Carnage on Coinage Hall or Meneague Street Massacres headlines? Is the local press in on this? If it's hushed up, then why put up signs? That's it. They're not there for direction to aid the lost, bemused and weary. It's public liability and another conspiracy theory. It seems that on entering Helston, there are legal disclaimers, a warning. Street cleaners wait those meeting their fate, whose remains are scraped up by morning. So once more it's down to the council. We know the plausible answers, unless there's some place called Lizard. There is, well, what were the chances?